Thanks for watching. I hope everyone has a great Saturday. Have a great weekend. If you look at the big picture, you can see that there is a correction today. There is a little bit of a red, and I'm sure a lot of people are freaking out. But we need to know what's been going on in the crypto markets, which is where Bitcoin is right now. Plus, it's the weekend, and Friday and Saturday are usually the worst days for manipulation because CNB futures are closed. However, XRP is only down 0.5% and is now worth almost $2 a cent. Or the market value of Bitcoin is $128 billion, $300 million, 0 cents, and almost $13 billion, 0 cents worth of trades happen every 24 hours. Before we go any further, I want to make it clear that nothing on this show is meant to be financial advice. As with any investment, you should do your own research before putting money into crypto. With 88.7% of open interest compared to the market cap tax, you're at the top of the list. This is very interesting. We all know that this person is buying Bitcoin at a record-breaking rate, but this is view. Please share your own ideas on it below. But this is what I want to talk about today. Since it's the weekend, we need to keep things light, but let's take a quick look back with a lot of other people. Some people were confused about why Warren Buffett was selling so many stocks. And if you paid attention to the crypto markets, you saw that the markets as a whole dropped quite sharply. That's what I want you to pay attention to. A few weeks ago, there was a huge crash in the traditional markets that lost trillions and trillions of dollars in value. Now he seems like Mr. Perfect. He called it and he had a lot of cash on him. He's now saying, you know what? It might be a good idea to own more than just the US dollar, according to Warren Buffett. As crypto heads, we will always be wondering if he is talking about a possible crypto digital asset for your portfolio. This is because crypto adoption is at an all-time high and new rules are being put in place to meet the needs of institutions. Are there ETFs? If this is true, I wouldn't be surprised if he was. BlackRock and a lot of other big companies now back Bitcoin, including JP Morgan, BlackRock, and Bank of America. All of these banks and officials weren't sure about the digital asset space before. Many of them that we don't trust are now supporting crypto. Do you think Warren Buffett will talk about Bitcoin? If he does, I think everything will go crazy. Again, this isn't impossible to talk about or guess about because he still has a lot of cash on hand. Is this really going to be the time when he adds Bitcoin to his portfolio? Wouldn't surprise me. We'll see what happens. We know that there are more P whales, which drives prices up. We know that the whales are gathering. Regular buyers always wonder why the price stays at $220, 0 cents. These whales don't care if the price goes up or down. Price is $2, 0 cents or $1, 0 cents in a very long time. They are thinking about it. Check out what's going on with BTC and XRP. I think that with the help of ETF, this will completely change how people think about XRP. As I said, XRP is one of the few coins that is still around and still coming up with new ideas at last. After years and years of going through a lot, they're making big moves and getting attention from bigger people. It's coming in. I still think that the OTC numbers aren't being measured. I think that a lot of big players are collecting XRP over the counter, which is something that we don't want to forget. The last time we looked at and thought about XRP, very interesting, but let's move on. You used to be the CEO of a US company. Law says that digital assets are the first asset class in history that the normal person can buy. You were in before banks. I agree with everything you said. When I first started investing in crypto markets in 2016, I had heard of Bitcoin from some close friends who talked about it, but I didn't think it would become something big until that year when I was in class and there was a guy sitting next to me. I don't know if I've ever told this whole story, but he had Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I think there was one more cryptocurrency as well. I believe he was holding Bitcoin, Ethereum, or XRP, but it was very cheap at the time. He told me that the value of his Bitcoin had gone up a lot and that he hoped it would continue to rise. That's when I thought, what a great way to get into this. I bought my first Bitcoin in 2016 and then converted it to XRP on Us.Thankx back in the good old days. Then I rolled the top into January 2018 and had so many great times. I agreed with you 100% at the time. I've been in the crypto market since 2016, which will have been 10 years next year. I haven't slept since then. I've lost a lot and learned a lot about it. I'm still looking into things, Rick, because you've been in the space for a long time. Even though I've been in this market for 8 or 9 years, I still have a lot to learn. That's what I want to talk about with you today, how you learn something new every day. But yes, at that time and over the years, you started to hear about institutional interest in my cryptocurrency and whether or not we were going to get an EDF for institutional adoption. See, that people used to say bad things about it and say it would never happen, but now they're coming in. And yes, there was detail before. As you can see, digital assets are the first time in history that regular people have the chance to set themselves up for family wealth before institutions do. So, having said that, there are a lot of people who got into the crypto markets early. If you pick the right coins from 7 to 8 years ago, or even from the last cycle, you could already be at government. There's no doubt about this. There are no reasons against this. And this is something we really don't want to forget. In that vein, here's an update. Stewart, the chief law officer of crypto, says that the SEC dropped its case against Ripple because it realized there were no real laws in place for the new digital asset space after the new structure. Gary Gendler is no longer in charge of the CC now that Trump is in office. There has been a change. If these guys are being honest, they are dropping all of their lawsuits against any crypto company based in the US and starting over. They've been fighting this for a long time, but Gary Gendler didn't want it. I don't care about that, but that is really interesting. Feel free to share your own thoughts below and also let me know when you first started investing in crypto and what drew you to it. Based on this picture of power, your dominance is growing worse. As I said before, we actually went up to 65% control last night. If you look at BTC, you may have seen a small drop, but that even though control does the opposite, this small drop will have an effect on the market.